Joining him on the blue, a pre-junior from Irvington, New York, number 11, Benjamin Burger. 11 winning a pre-junior from Westchester, Pennsylvania, number 29, Ryan Sambuco. At center, a junior from Acton, Massachusetts, number 9, Barrett Genevieve. And at right wing, from Westchester, Pennsylvania, number 10, James Jacobs. And starting in that Drexel University Dragons, a freshman from Smithtown, New York, number 35, Ryan Nocerino. Head coach for Drexel University Dragons is Tyler Rochner. He's assisted by Chris Churchman, Jared Ortiz, and Ryan Williams. We now ask if you are able, please rise and remove your hats and playing our national anthem.
We're here at the class of 1923 arena as New York University gets ready to take on your Drexel Dragons. It should be a good one tonight. Drexel coming off of a win against Robert Morris University, a score of 5-4. That one looked like it was going to be headed back to overtime for the second night in a row, but Drexel able to snap that 5-game losing streak. But on the flip side, you have New York University, who has come off of a blowout where they beat Rutgers University, a final score of 9-1. Both teams are going to have a challenge ahead of them by keeping each other in check, and we're just about ready for opening faceoff. That'll be New York University with it, but slapping it away there is Jacobs, and then this one pitchforked out through center, but eventually grabbed and thrown back down. Dancing in with his Drexel, they throw their first shot on net of the game, that one coming off the stick of Lazine. Lazine tries to set it back to the point after it bounced off the boards, but it comes back out through center, has to be flipped in on a delayed offsides. Drexel touches up, and they move into the zone, but that one just out of reach there is Sambuco. Sambuco has to play it back through center. Sambuco sends it right in on goal, and New York University will elect to hold. Not much pressure going on, but their team looking for an early change, which will allow a offensive zone faceoff for Drexel in 1924 here in the first period. Drexel snapping a 5-game losing streak their last time through. Final score of 5-4. The night before that, they were at Robert Morris University, where they lost in overtime 6-5. They're looking to avoid any extra time here tonight as this one trickles in on goal and it's eventually covered and held for a face-off at the opposite end. New York is 2-3 on this young season, and Drexel coming in at 5-6. New York, they're coming off that 9-1 win against Rutgers. It was a game that was seen for their team as a lot of offense amongst various players. It wasn't one player that took the goals all night or the assist. It was spread around throughout their teams. It's a battle in the corner, but eventually it will be New York that comes up with it. It's Gordeff with it. Gordeff gets checked off the puck hard in the corner, and that allowed Drexel to try to gather over the other side, but it's put back behind the net there onto the stick of Gordoff. This one trickles out through center as Oleson with it. Oleson sends it in, and then it's just swatted away there by Urbani. Gathered out through center now by Ornan, and then Ornan throws it back in, but onto the stick there. Drexel players will throw it into the corner. Defense will go off on a change. This one gathered in at the point, bounced off the boards, or right onto the stick there of Oleson, and then Oleson coming in fast. But he's disrupted at the blue line, and it's sent right back in. This one on the stick of Harris. Harris hands it off there to Kaczynski. Kaczynski gives it off to Harris once more. He sends this one just over the crossbar and into the safety netting. Nick Castor leading his team in points with 15. It's on the stick of Harris. Harris sends this one in wide. He's the leading goal scorer for Drexel University at 9 so far this season, as that one bounces off of McGinley's stick and into the safety netting, so another stoppage in play. Nick Castor and Matt Harris, the two leading goal scorers. Castor with 7. He's not out there right now on the ice, as he is normally paired with Harris, but you see Harris out there by himself as this one floats in on goal, and it is covered and held. No Sereno in net tonight for Drexel University. Face-off will be to the left of him, and it is a battle for the puck. Eventually comes back out to the point, and they try to send this one in. Does Dempsey, looking for the redirection, but it's seen all the way and held. Another face-off there. This time it's won by Drexel. It's sent around the far boards, that off the stick of Lazine. Eventually gathered and brought back out through center, and then just out of the reach there of Walsh, as this one goes back behind the net and now into the far corner. New York coming out with it, flipping it in there is Bezekis. Bezekis feeds it around to the near boards of Kaczynski. Kaczynski tries to center it back out in front, trying to get it onto the stick of Solovey, but the Drexel defense was there and is able to disrupt that play. Sprung will send it around there to the far side, but it's kept in by Solovey, and then eventually brought back over to the near boards and then out through center, and trying to keep it in there was Oleson, but it's going to be sent back, and Drexel will be able to get off on a change. Jacobs plays the puck back behind his own net and misjudging the defense there was Urbani as he was taken out of that play, but it's eventually poked along to Hoover, but then the referee just disrupting that play as Gordeff is able to get a handle on it. Gordeff brings it back out to the point to Oleson, but Oleson can't keep it at the blue line. He'll have to backtrack and then backhand it along ahead. That one onto the stick of Cook, and then Cook just sends it in further, hoping for a quick change, but it did take a little while for New York to hop off the bench. It's 3-on-2 developing as Drexel moves in. This one disrupted into the corner. Both teams looking to get the momentum right now. Just 2 shots for Drexel, 1 for New York University. This one poked ahead and going down hard there on the ice was Genovese. It is on the stick of Jacobs now. Jacobs though just overskates the puck a bit and then has it tied up in his skates before it's brought back out the other side. This one just flipped along and trying to get it out of the zone there was Eisler, but it was just kept in at the blue line and eventually sent back behind the net. This one's sent in deep. Drexel will get a full change here. That'll allow New York to move out the other way. This pace sent back behind, but they're able to keep their speed and then send this one in off the glass and then eventually hits off the side of the cage. It's onto the stick now, Lindvall. Lindvall sends it back behind, and then Lindvall playing catch as that one took a weird bounce off the board and almost came back out through center. This play disrupted at the blue line, and the linesman says it came out and brought back in on a delayed offside. So 14:41 to go here in this first period of play. Both teams coming off of a recent win. Both looking to get the upper hand so far in this first period. They're just separated by one shot each, and it's just 2 for Drexel and 1 for New York. The Sereno plays it, he'll just hold it and allow Drexel to bounce off the far boards and eventually get it out through center as they try to move it up. This one kept in over there along the short boards, and then eventually it's gathered back out through center. It's only the stick of Barrett as Barrett's looking for a play and then eventually flips it into the New York end. Barrett has it. He's looking, trying to settle down the bouncing puck, but in doing so, it goes onto the stick of a New York player before it's eventually given up to Lindvall. Lindvall, though, body checked out of the play, and then it's kicked into the far side with a slap shot towards the net there by Hoover. That one was seen all the way through. On the stick there, Eisler. Eisler passes up through center. Allows his team to get off on a change, even though the puck did not go all the way down. Some tired bodies out there for New York help Drexel in that change as they now go off, and then this one flips through center and down. Harris trying to get to the puck. He's able to do so in the corner. Tries it backhanded along to the point, but it hits off a stick and then eventually is gathered and controlled out through center. Harris moving in with it now. Harris pissed off. He goes towards the net, tries to get a redirection. It's left down to the blue paint with an open net that slides all the way through to the other side. What an opportunity there, as that one was just left down in that blue paint, but nobody home for Drexel as it was slide all the way across into the corner. Moving up with the puck now is Kozitzki. Kozitzki looking, he takes the weird angle shot that's held, and he'll force a whistle with 12:56 to go. Not a bad shot there, as we saw last week with Robert Morris University. Drexel taking that weird angle shot, the puck just getting itself tied up a little bit right behind the goaltender as he went to adjust himself to cover that 5-hole. It made its way across the red line to give Drexel the first goal of the game, and it was all of them from there. This one sent in wide, that one off the stick of Birkin, and it's eventually gathered in the corner, paced back behind the net, and now moved up. Trying to disrupt that play there was Birkin, but it's forced in by Gordeff, and then Gordeff eventually gets it back out, sends one in, and then the rebound is there, and then eventually, after 2 additional attempts, it's held by Nocerino as Vemulapalli had a few whacks at that one, but could not find its way home. So ball back out through center. It's played by Sambuco. Linesman waves off of a high stick as this was played in deep, and Lazine giving chases, and Nocerino was set it up for him. Lazine taken out of the play in the corner. It's bounced off the boards there by Gordeff, but the Gordeff gives it right onto the stick of a Drexel player, and then it's moved up through center now. The 3-on-2 developing. The shot comes in off the stick of Sambuco. Rebound, a weird angle shot, and then tied up there out through center was Walsh as he had an opportunity to bury that one, but the men in black were there. Hoover with the puck now. He just crosses the red line and he'll flip it in and go off on a change. This one sent towards the net. It's hit off the goaltender's mask because that one was off the stick of your body, and then this one eventually makes its way into the crowd. Face-off one here by New York. They play along the near boards. It's brought back out through center. Fanning on the pass into his own end was Eisler, and that allows one to ring high and wide off a Hembrace stick back into Drexel end. Disrupting that play there was Lindvall. Lindvall trying to force it towards the net, but Tiavares is able to get there and then eventually hit it off of the stick to Svoboda. Svoboda sends it across, trying to get it onto the stick of Hembrace, but he's forced into the corner and then forces the puck back behind the net. It is on to the stick there now of Urbani. Urbani tried to go one side, comes back out the other, and then it's eventually forced up the near boards, out through center and down. And the linesmen say that it does have enough on it for icing. It appeared that Martin slowed down just enough to had that icing waved off, but the referee says, or the linesman says no. Face-off one by New York. They set one towards it that was blocked, and then a rebound that was left out was backhanded along by Solove and gloved and held for another whistle. Drexel will get their full change now. Some players tried to sneak out on the ice after that icing, and the referee sent them back. Face-off one here by Drexel. It's bounced off the boards. It can't be kept in at the point. Moving along there fast is Walsh. Walsh tried to disrupt that play, and in retrospect, he was able to do so. It's gathered along now, and then a 2-on-2 developing. Drexel moving it along the near boards. Walsh backhands it back behind the net and sends it over to the far side. Trying to disrupt that play was Quinn, and then it's eventually kept in by the far point, sent back behind the net before it's passed along and then brought back out through center. This one flipped in as New York gives chase to it in the corner. Backhanded along, centered it out in front, but nobody's home as Drexel's able to come up with it. Going in awkwardly to the short boards there was Quinn. He will go off after that, and Harris will come back on. Does appear to be okay. It's just time for his change as the puck's in that far side. And then it's McGinley disrupting the play and then brings it back out through center. The captain, McGinley, able to keep that one out of danger as we come down to the final 9 minutes and 30 seconds of this first period to play. Linesman disrupting the play there, so it's a slow rolling puck along the near boards. McGinley's able to one-hand it along and then kicks it ahead back onto his stick. McGinley is disrupted as he just crosses the blue line, and that allows Gordeff to send one towards the net, but it goes off of Urbani, and then a rebound is seen all the way by Nocerino as we'll have another face-off in the Drexel end. Genovese will take the face-off for Drexel, and he'll lose it as this one's paced back out to the point, then set towards the net and held as that one hit Nocerino in the chest. Genovese back into the face-off circle. He wins the face-off this time. Passes it back to Hoover. Hoover sends it along in the near boards, but falling down there was Urbani, but he's able to backhand it along, but it's kept in at the far side. This puck now eventually comes out through center, delayed all sides. And now New York touches up. Urbani sends it all the way across there, then it's brought back out and sent down. That one off the stick of Hoover and an icing call. 8:37. Drexel with 8 shots for New York. Drexel had a little bit of difficulty finding momentum early in that first period. They were able to score a goal early and long in their last game, but momentum continued to jump around between both teams until later on in the period. This puck's at the side of the net. It bounces off the side of the cage and allows Drexel to flip it up through center and down, but just a bit too hard as they do so for a second consecutive icing. It was all Robert Barstow in the second period of play before Drexel was able to bounce back out in the third and continue to do some damage before they were able to win the hockey game of 5-4. So it was a close one, a back and forth last game, and it appears it'll be the same here tonight. So it's kicked along now. It's on the stick of Sambuco. Sambuco with it sends it off the lumber as the goaltender is able just to block that one aside with a stick. And this one sent over and trying to keep it in was Hoover, but then it's sent all the way back down as he misplayed it with his skate. And then he tries to send it back out, but it's kept in. The 3-on-2 developing. The shot comes off, but it's seen and then blocked into the corner. That one off of the stick of Sabota. And then this one sent across, trying to get it onto the stick of Bezekis. Bezekis tries to bring it back out to the point, but then it's left back out in front. A hard hit, open ice hit there by Hoover allows Drexel to come out with the puck. They move in, almost taking out the linesman there was New York. They center this one back out to blue paint, but it's gloved and held with 7:26 to go. Face off one here by Drexel. They send one towards the net. It bounces aside. It's a fighting for it over there in the corner. It's eventually gathered and sent back towards the back part of the net, but then brought back out at the target, and then eventually it's out through center and down. Disrupted at the play though was Birkin, and then it's brought on to the stick along the near side. Barrett sends that one towards the net that hits off the goaltender and into the netting. Their past 3 games, New York University has given up 10 goals. Drexel, though, their last time out playing them, they lost a final score of 3-0 as this one's brought along the near side. It's onto the stick of Walsh. Walsh trying to disrupt the play, but it is Urbani doing that before eventually trickles out through center onto the stick of Sprung. Sprung will hold, send it over to the far side. And it's eventually on the Walsh stick, a little bit too hard, but Sprung is there to able to poke it ahead deep into the New York end. Moving up with it now is O'Leeson. O'Leeson trying to drop it off to Cook, but he's surrounded by We apologize for the technical difficulties. We should be back up and running now. Although during the downtime, New York University was able to score a goal, so they will go 1-0. There is 1:49 left here in this first period of play. Drexel with 14 shots and New York with 7. One of theirs, though, finding its way past Serino in the back of the net. That one coming off of a deflection out in front. Drexel University, though, they gather, they bring it up the near boards, they bank it out through center before it's eventually flipped right back in by New York. This one brought along now to the near side, moving up with it and sending it up further there is Eisler, but Eisler unable to get it onto his teammate's stick before he gathers this one back. Down to the final 1 minute, 24 seconds here in the first period. It's kicked along by Lindvall. Lindvall sends it towards the net, but it's sent back behind. Barrett was there, and then trying to keep it in was Urbani, but then it's eventually kicked ahead and up through center. This shot brought up through center, sent over, Urbani back for it. Urbani sends it and then just tapping it along. Was Drexel, but they're going to do so on an offside, or on an icing call rather. Bell coming off his stick, 58 seconds left here in the first, 1-0 New York. Drexel, a good team at rebounding in the second and third period. That's where most of their damage has come this season. It's been a slow start to a first period for them throughout the season, and eventually they've rebounded and do a lot better in the second and third, with most of their goals coming in. A 2-on-2 there and offside right there at the blue line, as they say. Lindvall stepped over the line just before the puck. Puck was tied up, but eventually bounces onto a New York stick and then brought along to the near boards. Tavares sends it in off the glass, and then it's eventually gathered and pushed ahead by Lindvall down to the final 30 seconds to play. This one banked along, sent all the way across. They had an open slot, did Kaczynski, but the New York defense able to block that one off from getting out through center. Harris with it back behind the net down to the final 11 seconds in this first period of play. New York moving up with it. Their one final rush for them. 3-on-2. They dropped it along. It's tied up in the skates and the stick, and we will head into the second period with Drexel trailing 1-0. 14 shots for them, 7 for New York University. And we'll take a break here in WSBA. And when we come back, we'll have your second period of action.
The 4 Points by Sheraton, Winnipeg South. Conveniently located on South Pembina Highway near the Trans-Canada Bypass and 1 hour from the U.S. border crossing. Offering a saltwater pool, hot tub, 24-hour fitness center, restaurant, and lounge.
Well, we head into the second period with a 1-0 lead for New York. Drexel and New York had a little bit of trouble finding early momentum in the first period. For the first 5 minutes, the teams were separated by just 1 goal, 2 for Drexel, 1 for New York, before Drexel was able to eventually branch out and make it a little bit more interesting, make it a little bit more of a challenge. As they were able to go along, they had the momentum in shots and then eventually had the momentum for half of the period before it began to switch. As we mentioned earlier, New York coming off that 9-1 win, but both teams playing conservative here tonight. There was not a lot of hits, there was not a lot of physicality, and we can expect that to change in the second period. Drexel with 15 shots at 9 for New York University, and these teams playing conservative for a good reason, because while you have Drexel that came off of a 5-4 win, they're not to be mistaken for. Both teams can make each other capitalize on their mistakes, and that is something that they would both look to do here in the later going. Drexel was able to gather in the middle of the period. They get the momentum, more shots on net, and then it was all New York at the end. Their goal came on a deflection out in front, but the positive coming as there was no penalties there in the first period, although it may have benefited Drexel as the momentum against Robert Morris came during a power play. We'll take a quick break here on WSBN, and when we come back, we'll have your second period of play. Right now, it is New York University on top, 1-0. Started the second period here in the class of 1923 arena. New York University up 1-0, and we're just about ready for the opening face-off of the second period. There it is. It's won by Drexel. They bring it back, and it is under the stick of Hoover. Hoover sends it all the way across, but passes it by Urbani, so to go back in the corner and gather. Urbani back with it behind the net, and it is onto the stick of Hoover now as they bring it back out the other side. This one kept in at the blue line and poked the head along. Urbani looking to backhand it along. He's able to do so, but Hoover gathers and then brings it up just ahead of Harris. Harris, though, with some speed, is he'll wisely wait back and then takes a shot, but deflects off the skate and wide in the net. Harris, though, taking them out. McKinley, though, right down out in front, but the puck was just a little bit behind him, and then he had trouble gathering and pushing it along. This one goes all the way across. They're brought back out through center and up the other way. Taking a shot there that goes high into the crossbar. There is Hembre. It is with Ornay out with it on the other side before it's disrupted and then eventually kicked along off of Kazitsky, but he has a little trouble staying on his feet as he eventually does come down and off the ice for a change. New York dancing in with it. They're in the far corner. Back behind the net they go. They have trouble. Their team's up 1-0 right now. They bring it back out just to the right of the goaltender, but it slides through, back out to the point, and then eventually out through center. Kicking it along there, though, is O'Leeson. O'Leeson, though, sends it in deep, and then eventually is Drexel able to gather and send it off the near boards, but Ornay with it. Ornay, though, disrupted by Hoover, but then Hoover loses it. It's right back on a stick. Ornay, this one sent all the way across the blue paint. But Drexel able to keep that one out of danger as it poked the head out right in front of their bench. 18 minutes to go here in the second period. 15 shots for Drexel, 9 for New York University. New York up 1-0 as their puck, or their goal made it in on a deflection as that one was sent off on the side, and then we have a hand pass called for a stoppage of play. And hand pass will bring the puck all the way back down into New York's end. Puck was tied up in his skates, but it's eventually onto the stick of Barrett. Barrett, though, having trouble with the puck in the corner. It's back onto his stick, though, as he was able to get it out away from the New York defense as they're playing a little bit more physical here in this second period after both teams were conservative in the first. This one bounces in on goal and then is held with 17:20 to go. So a weird bounce going in towards the net forces Nocerino to cover and hold, and a face-off in his own end. Well into the face-off circle for Drexel. Battle for along the near boards. Going down momentarily there was Solove, but then he gets back up and then plays the puck into the far corner, and then he'll get it right back before he's eventually knocked off the puck again. No penalties so far in this game. Not something that can be said here in college hockey. Referees usually like to make their point early on. The two referees tonight have been more laid back and allowing both teams to play. Moving up with it now is Hoover. Hoover with it on the far side. He crosses the blue line. He has some help with it. Passes along there to Lindvall, but then Lindvall is forced back into the corner, and then Hoover falls down and pretty much disrupts the play and allows New York to come back out with it the other way. Here across the blue line, they drop it off. A misplay there as Sabata was not ready for it as Dempsey dropped it off. And then this one slides all the way down and allows Drexel to come off on a change. Moving up though with it is New York. New York tries to send it in, but blocking his shot there is Urbani. Urbani sends it back behind the net, trying to get it on the stick there, Kaczynski. The defense did not get off on the change. Sprung, though, pushes it along there to Walsh, and they're trying to get it back out through center so the defense can at least get off. It's on the stick of O'Leeson right now. O'Leeson has it back as he plays catch with his defenseman, and then brings it back up one-handed into the corner, and then loses it there to Urbani as Sprung was able to check him off, and then the entire defense is able to come off as this puck is sent down, but on a delay offside. New York with it now out through center. They just crossed the blue line. They drop it back off. They try to send one towards the net, but fading on the shot there was Sobata. This one flipped up in the air and it brought right back down the blue line and back out through center and forced New York to retouch. This one just flicked along, and it is Tavares going back for it. Tavares loses it back behind the net, and then this one flipped off the glass, and then eventually onto the stick of Harris. Harris looking, he's taking it into the corner. He has McGinley out in front, trying to backhand it along to him, but it hugs the boards again, and then keeping it in there at the point is Eisler. And then Harris able to jump up, grab it, bring it back down, send it across, try to get it back over to McGinley. And this one to the side of the cage does become disallowed. We still do not have a whistle, and then finally with 14:42 to go. Referees allowing both teams to play for that puck as it was loose. It appeared to be at least. The net was dislodged. However, so Drexel was able to get a handle on that puck and then eventually made its way in the back of the net. New York would have had a case to say, hey, everything wasn't where it was supposed to be. The goal would have to be reconsidered. Doesn't matter though, as New York's moving up with it, and it's all along, McGinley able to keep it in. It's on the stick of Sambuco. Sambuco tries to send it in, but it kicks off the skate and it's sent all the way down. And getting there first is Drexel as they bounce along the near boards, but then it's on the stick of Cook. Cook and Eisler battle for it, and then McGinley, it takes it away from Eisler and brings it back out of danger, and he's going to move up with it. He'll send it along, he'll try to get it right back, but it's poked away from him, as New York will have to retouch as they already re-entered the zone. Krzyzewski taking them out of the play there. This one sent in. It wasn't seen all the way by the goaltender, but no damage done as able to hit off his pad. And it's brought back out. Drexel moving up with it. It is Eisler with it. Eisler tries to force it into the corner there to Harris. It's kept in at the point by McGinley. McGinley pushes it along to Krzyzewski as he pushes it back behind the net and brings it back out along the near side. Does New York with 13:35 to go. Just 5 shots separate these two teams right now. 15 for Drexel, 10 for New York. They backhand this one all the way across the blue paint. It does not matter as it goes all the way across. And then Drexel moving up with it. If they hurry, they'll have it 3-on-2. This one poked ahead. It's Jacobs with it. Jacobs trying to send it out in front. But New York University's defense able to come back and disrupt the play. Jimmy Jacobs battling along. Actually kept in there. It's poked ahead by Castor, but just out of reach of Sambuco as that one goes into the corner. Sambuco moving towards the net now, but that one gets disrupted in escape and brought back out the other way. New York University with it. They just crossed the blue line. They send one towards the net, but it's going to hit off the skate and into the netting with 12:36 to go. Just one goal separates these two teams. It came late in that first period of play. It was a redirection out in front of Nocerino, and it was able to tuck its way in the top right-hand corner to give New York a 1-0 lead. New York with it. They send one through traffic, but Nocerino sees it and kicks it aside into the corner. Eisler backhanded it along, tries to get it on his stick of Barrett. Quite enough force, but Barrett able to at least get it back out to the point before it's sent through traffic again and then kicked again aside before it's eventually deflected back out through center and down by Eisler. And giving chase there is Lindvall. Lindvall able to disrupt it back behind the net. Barrett trying to get over there. He tried to get a stick on it, but Solove just a little bit of upper hand speed-wise able to get there and force the play before Drexel was able to get a hold of it again. And this one bounced along. 11:53 to go here. Kept in at the blue lines, brought over, then it's sent all the way across. It's kicked off the skate there to Lindvall on a New York player, but then again it's deflected wide, where both teams will battle along, and it's eventually Drexel that comes out with it. Birkin passed it along, now it's over at the far side, trying to bring it along the near side, but it's kicked off the back skate of Bell, and then eventually forced into the corner by Lindvall as both teams go back behind the net, and Drexel's going to go off on a change. So it was just Lindvall out there by himself as he did his job to allow his team to change and get some fresh legs out on the ice, and now he'll go off himself. On his stick there now of Urbani. Urbani floats it in. Gives his team a chance to set up. Back behind the net is Walsh. Walsh was disrupting that play, and then it's eventually played into the referee. The referee disrupting the play, and then Urbani is not able to keep it in, but then eventually sends it in on a delay, and Sprung tries to go in, and it's brought back out to the near boards. Urbani pushed it back alone, trying to get it on the stick there of Quinn. Quinn allows it to go all the way through to Sprung. Sprung, though, is surrounded by a few jerseys. Now Quinn has to try to come back up with it the other way, but it is Urbani that floats it in, and then Sprung forcing a face-off. 10:33 to go here in the second period. 1-0 New York. Drexel coming off of a 5-4 win against Robert Morris University as they win the faceoff, and they send this one quickly towards the net. That one off the stick of Kazitsky, but then Kazitsky hits McGinley in the back of the leg, and he's slowly lipping around on the ice trying to shake that one off. We'll take the faceoff for Drexel, and winning gives it right back to Kazitsky. Kazitsky leaves it in the corner for him. But it's disrupted there as Ornay was able to play it along. Brought back out through center. Dancing into Drexel's ends, New York. They backhand it along just wide of the net. And then a whistle is blown as the net has come dislodged. That was a nice backhanded attempt there, just barely missing the near post. Both teams increasing their speed just a bit more here in the second period of play. Ten minutes to go and on an offside call. That puck just deflected up in the air, bounces right down in front of Drexel's bench, but then it's New York able to recover at the blue line, but then kept in there by Genovese. Genovese tries to kick it along to his stick, but then stumbles, and the puck will go all the way in the corner, and then eventually Gatter brought back out to the blue line, but then it's Jimmy Jacobs, but Jacobs sends a shot, tries to go 5-hole, but it's closed with 9:37 to go. Genovese doing a great job, able to keep that one in at the blue line. He tried to kick it along himself, but just a bit ahead, but Jimmy Jacobs almost tied this game up at 1, but New York able to close the 5-hole. There's Kazitsky's, or Sambuco's shot rather, that goes off the glove hand. This one, a battle for it now in the corner. Kicking it along there is Genovese. Trying to get this one up further. There's a second attempt, and it's brought back along to the near boards. Playing it along there is Kazitsky. Sambuco come out to the point to play the puck if it should come out there. Pass it along deep, though, is Genovese as he wraps it back behind the net. Jimmy Jacobs trying to do a backhanded shot. That forced its way into the corner as it bounced off the pad. There's the shot by Sambuco, but it's seen all the way and brought back out now. Couple good attempts there by Drexel in the New York end, as they had plenty of attempts to tie it up, and they were close multiple times, but unfortunately, the puck just did not find its way home. This one dished out through center, backhanded to the near side, dancing in with it there is Kazitsky. Kazitsky taking a hit and then playing the puck and then overskating slightly before eventually being taken out of the play. Weird bounce off the boards though, allows this puck to get on the Sambuco stick. Sambuco tries to go to the near side, but hogging the post all the way was the goaltender. Seen a couple weird bounces off the glass here tonight, allowing for offensive opportunities by both sides. Neither team though able to capitalize off of that weird bounce off the glass. This Bell into the face-off circle, and it'll just trickle right in on goal. So we'll have another offensive zone face-off here. This time it's won by New York. They wrap it around the near boards. Bell had it, and then it's eventually set along to the far side there by Lindvall as the offense was able to disrupt that play. A hard hit there by Bell forces New York out of it. They're going to try to stay in and bounce Bell up against the boards, and that will allow them to move out through center and down. And we have an offside as it was Tavares that beat the puck into the zone. Hembre with it. Hembre sends it in, and then this one sent into the safety netting. Drexel will change. Will send McGinley, Harris, and Kozitsky onto the ice. It will be McGinley into the face-off circle. Poked into the corner into the face-off, and Drexel able to bring it back out to at least the red line before it was disrupted, and then on to the stick of New York. New York dances back in or along the near side now to force back behind the net, and then brought back out the other way. It's Kozitsky who's able to force them over to the other side. This was sent towards the net, but blocked out. Then his second attempt goes wide. Moving up there with it now is Harris. Harris has Kozitsky with him, but then it's disrupted, and then eventually got it back out through center, but it's a delay offside. Urbani trying to dance around, tries to send it back in, but then it's eventually brought back in by Lazine. Lazine sends it towards the net. That's deflected off the goaltender, sticking off the glass. Referees telling them to move the puck, and it just bounces out through center, and we will have our first penalty of the game, and it will be an interference call. This one going against Drexel University, and it is going to be Urbani to the box for interference. So it took to just having 6 minutes and 52 seconds here in the second period to play. This is your first penalty of this game. The referees have pretty much been allowing these two teams to play. Speed is picked up here in the second. Physicality, not as much. It's about the same as the first period. But for the first time in this game, Drexel finds themselves down a man. Face-off won there by Drexel as they play the puck into the far corner and send this one the length of the ice to kill some time. That one sent in on net off the stick of Oleson, and it's seen all the way and held. 6:30 to go here in the second period. 1:38 on the power play for New York, their first in the game. A much tighter game here for New York University as they came off a 9-1 lead, or 9-1 win rather, their last game against Rutgers. Gonna face off over again, and it's just sent all the way back down by Drexel, so they're able to kill more time off the power play. Moving up now is Oleson. Oleson moving in fast. Hold pause in the corner. He'll send it back out and trying to get it onto the stick there with Gordeff, but then Gordeff misplays it as they're sent back behind him, and they'll have to take it out through center. Gordeff though moving it back into the zone over the far side. He's trying to get it out of the corner, looking for the help of there of Ornay, and then Ornay is able to get there as they go onto the stick now of Remula Pally with 56 seconds to go here in the man advantage. Sent back out, trying to get it in towards the net, set wide on purpose by Oleson. Oleson trying to get Gordeff into the corner, and that's eventually brought back out to the near point to Oleson before he passes it back up along. Gordeff with it now. Gordeff stops, looks, gives it to Oleson. Oleson looks for Lane, sends it over to the far side. He asks for it back, but rather it'll go ahead, and then eventually Oleson does get it. But the lane has been closed, and that one sent across, but seen all the way. Rebound, blocked aside. Puck still loose, then eventually covered by Nocerino. So a couple attempts there, but all denied there by Nocerino with 5:15 to go and 24 seconds on the man advantage. $18 shots for Drexel, 14 for New York University. Last time these two teams met, Drexel fell 3-0 as it was scattered back out the point. Brought along to the near side, looking for an avenue there is in New York. They bring it back out to the point again, but this one hops over Hembre's stick, but no damage is done as it's kept in at the blue line. Hembre has it, brings it over along to the near board, sending it towards the net this to Boda, and then eventually it's brought back out to Hembre, and then the puck was left there wide, and a penalty has now expired. Coming off the bench and moving fast, there is Kozitsky. Kozitsky able to get through it in the corner. His team did go off on the change. It's kicked away from him, and New York will look to bring it back out, but it's been easier said than done in these recent few minutes with Drexel hogging up a lot of their lane. 4:30 to go here in the second period of play. It's New York 1-0 after their goal on a deflection in the first period. Battle for the puck right in front of the Drexel bench, and then it's eventually poked into the New York zone by McGinley, and McGinley's going to go in and get a little bit of help from Harris to try to get this puck back onto their sticks. Harris able to get it out, so let's stick with McGinley. McGinley trying to force it out in front, but he's unable to do so. Just force back goal on the boards. So just backhanded along and sent in wide of the goaltender. Brought along the near side to Harris. Harris looking. Sends it across. Drexel moving in. They send one towards the net, but it hits off the defense and never makes its way through. That one stopped right there at the red line. And then send it along as Genovese. Genovese trying to get on the stick of Sambuco, but it hits just off the end of his stick and right onto New York University's. One trickled out through center and crosses the blue line. Jump ball around the near boards. No way there though for Drexel. And it's sent back around again. Trying to disrupt that play was Lazine, but New York able to come up with it. They're trying to force it back out in front, and it was kicked into the corner. Or kicked in the near boards rather, and then sent out through the corner, but then eventually out through center. Jimmy Jacobs with the puck down. Jacobs, though, take it out of the play, but he regathers in the corner. Centers it out. It is on the stick of Sambuco. Sambuco backhands it along, and then it's blocked aside and a penalty called. And this one is a trip on who, though? Two players went down, one for Drexel, one for New York University, and this time it will be a Drexel power play. As going to the box there is Oleson. And Drexel, this is what happened against that Robert Morris game. They got themselves a power play. They were able to score on that power play and then carry that momentum with them into the beginning of the second period before giving up 2 goals and allowing Robert Morris to tie it up. But then they came right back in the third. A tie game here with 2 minutes and 29 seconds would be great for Drexel as they could head into the third period tied at 1. A non-goal wouldn't necessarily dampen their hopes, but make it a little bit more challenging for them to come out in the third. Adjustments to the ice have been made, and McGinley wins the faceoff. Sambuco with the puck now. Sambuco passes along to Birkin. Birkin looking, fires it in the corner, gets it right back. Birkin sends it across. Harris trying to send that one towards the net, but in doing so, he fell down as this one sent out through center. And Drexel will have to retouch and set this one back up on their power play. Moving up now with his Sambuco. Sambuco looking, pauses, sends one across, but nobody's there. And allows New York to send it down the length of the ice, and Sereno coming out of his net to send it along there to Birkin. Birkin sends it all the way up to Harris, who's waiting for it at the blue line. Harris casually just waits there, and he's able to keep it in. It's sent along to the near boards, but Sambuco unable to keep hold as we're down to 1 minute on the man advantage of 1:25 here in the second period of play. Another penalty will be called. It's just again on New York. The puck bouncing around. Harris trying to get there. He does. McGinley sends it across. That one centered. Send back over across. Get it back off now to Sambuco. Sambuco holding. It's a 6-on-4 for a minute now. Kozitsky with it. Sambuco with it again. Sambuco looking, holding, sends one towards the net. Sends one off the stick of Harris, but it does not go. Down to final minute of play, 25 seconds. A 6-on-4 still here. St. Baker sends one towards the net, and then it's eventually touched by New York. We're 27 to the box for New York University. Sorry, we don't have a name on him. We do apologize. It appears that's going to be a boarding call. We're waiting for him to put the time up. It is 2 minutes. So it will be a 5-on-3 for 22 seconds, and then a man advantage going into the second period, or final period rather, for Drexel. This will tied up into the corner with 42 seconds to go here in the period. 12 seconds now on the man advantage. Drexel moving towards the net. They center it out, but it was deflected across. The net didn't move. Brought back out to the point. It's sent over to the far side now. The penalty's over. It's now 5-on-4, and then this one poked ahead. Drexel has to come back down. As the man out of the box was trying to get towards the net, that was Oleason. He's able to at least force the puck there and allow Nocerino to cover and hold with 20.2 seconds to go here in the second period of play. We have a hooking call. Who's that on? They'll be on Drexel, so that cancels the man advantage out. So it'll be 4-on-4 hockey for 1 minute and 30 seconds. As the hooking call came at the end of the whistle, that one on Sambuca. So a 4-on-4 for the rest of this period, 20 seconds. And we'll carry a 1 minute and 10 seconds into the second period, final period rather, third period, before a brief 30-second power play for New York. New York up 1-0. They able to score the goal early. Drexel moving up with it, trying to tie the game up late here. They're rushing towards the net, and the open net, but just too hard as McGinley was not able to get that one off. Down to the final 2 seconds and one, and we'll head into the third period of play with Drexel trailing 1-0. Here at the class of 1923 arena. Has been a great hockey game thus far. We're headed into the third with Drexel looking to come out and score an early goal. Well, we had ourselves a scoreless second period. The only goal in this game coming back in the first period by New York University. That goal was off a deflection out in front that made its way into the top right-hand corner to allow them to take the late lead in the first period of play. It was a fast-moving second period. Both teams, they picked up the pace. The physicality game, though, remained the same. Not too physical on either side. Both teams continuing to play relatively conservative because both of them can make the other team pay with their mistakes. Some weird bounces coming off the boards here that gave both teams an opportunity to score both in the first and in the second. But unfortunately for Drexel, they were not able to capitalize. But then fortunately for them, none found their way past Nocerino. Both teams finally getting a power play in the second period. It was a penalty-free first period, but then eventually it was Drexel getting that first power play. And why they came close to tying it up multiple times in that power play, New York was able to kill it off. And then in return, New York was able to get themselves a power play, and Drexel University doing a great job on the penalty kill. Drexel, though, eventually getting a second, but then a hooking call against Sambuca would cancel that one out. Drexel, they had some opportunities in the second period, both on the weird bounces and getting ahead of New York University. Part of that left a wide open net for McGinley, but the puck was sent just a little bit too far ahead for him, and he was only able to tip the puck off the end of his stick, which eventually made its way into the near corner. 7 shots aside for both teams here in the second period. Drexel still with the shot lead, though, 22-16, as they look to continue to put the pressure on in the third period, something that they are good at. We'll go into the third period of play, playing 4-on-4 for 1 minute and 10 seconds, and then it will be a brief 30-second power play for New York University. Drexel does an outstanding job putting pressure on the teams, and they do so even better later in the games. We can look for Drexel coming out, playing fast hockey, playing physical hockey, and we will see where that third period takes us. When we come back, we'll have your third period of action here at the Class of 1923 Arena.
The 4 Points by Sheraton, Winnipeg South. Conveniently located on South Pembina Highway near the Trans-Canada Bypass and 1 hour from the U.S. border crossing. Offering a saltwater pool, hot tub, 24-hour fitness center, restaurant, and lounge.
just about ready to start this final period play. It's New York University on top 1-0 on Dan Connick with the ball. Keeping behind the counter. 1:10 4-on-4 hockey here in the third period. Before a brief 30-second power play for New York University. It was a hooky call that set Sambuco to the box and the man advantage for Drexel. And there is some attention to the ice being made as a big chunk is taking out along the boards right to the right of the bench of Drexel. So we're going to get this one out of the way. It'll be Harris in the face-off circle, and he'll win it for his team. He'll pace it back, and it's on his stick now. Birkin will bring it along to the near boards. On the stick of Harris now. Harris looking, waiting, and then trying to go in deep with it. He's able to do so. And he'll pace it back out to the 4-point. Looking, holding, trying to give it back to Harris there with Birkin, but it's just out of his reach, so back behind the net. Our only goal in this game coming in the first period, that's all from New York. And as they'll go in on all sides. 30 seconds left on 4-on-4. Harris has the puck on his stick now as it just crosses the blue line before it's eventually brought back out by Gordeff. And then Harris interrupts his playing there. 13 seconds left on 4-on-4 hockey as Gordeff moves up with it. He's taken out of the play there though by Urbani. 5-on-4 for the next 14 seconds. This one's sent all the way down with 18:26 to go here in the third period. 3 seconds, 2 and 1, and we are back to even strength hockey. This one forced into the corner and then pushed back behind the net, and then brought right back out in front, but unable to get a good stick on his there is number 27 as this one passed back down. Again, we apologize, we don't have a name on him. Backhanded back behind the net, brought over to the near side, trying to get it on the stick of Urbani. Urbani battling along the boards. He eventually comes up with it, has to get chased down, and then right back into danger as he's forced back up to the boards again. This was sent towards the net. Ricochets off the defense, high over the crossbar. And brought back out through center, and then falling down and taking himself out of the play there was Genovese as he went in on the net. Sereno stopping that one, trying to keep Ornay out of the play. I got the point. Sent towards the net through traffic. It changed directions a few times and went wide. 16:56 to go here, this third period. Drexel trailing right now 1-0. They're coming off of a 5-4 win and a 5-game losing streak before that. They would like to make it 2 games here. Both teams won their last time out. So set right in on net, and Nocerino just poking it away. This one slid out in front, but Drexel was there and able to get it out of danger, pace it out through center. Slap shot goes in on goal, drop it aside with 16:13 to go. Drexel with the puck now. Moving up there with his Harris. Harris waiting, sends it back to the point to Sambuco. Sambuco gives it right back to Harris. But now Harris forced up against the boards, and it's eventually kicked out the other side, but just far enough away from McGinley that allowed New York to have advantage for at least a minute before it's eventually brought back, before it's eventually taken back over by Drexel and then made its way out to the safety netting. Has been a very good game by both teams. Both teams putting out pressure, both teams having a set of chances, but the opposing team able to keep them out of it. That puck, another weird bounce off the boards, and we talked about that all game, as it's provided opportunities, but unfortunately for both sides, that they were unable to capitalize on those weird bounces. Face-off on there by New York. It is kicked along on the stick there of Tavares. Tavares drops it off to 27. 27 tries to get it back on the stick of Tavares, but it deflects off of something and into the corner. Birkin sends it out to center. That's eventually brought back in by Hembre. Hembre looking, tries to backhand it along. Brought back over to the near side there by Sambuco. Sambuco looking, tries to center it. They do. The puck's still loose, and it's kept out. The puck remained loose, but the referee lost sight of it as it was eventually kicked all the way back down the other end. And it's probably the best opportunity for Drexel at that point, unfortunately. Did not find its way home. New York doing well in between the pipes, and Drexel doing great on the pressure, but that one just stays out. New York moving up with it. They're looking. They send it into the corner to Tavares, and then Tavares sends one in. That's all. Drexel has the puck, they send it around to the forwards. It is Barrett that sent it back out into the center portion of the ice before it's eventually cleared out through center. 14:07 to go. Drexel still trailing by one. A lot of hockey still to play here in this third period, but if they are looking to score, they need to start putting the pressure on and keeping it on New York University. New York coming up with the puck. They're moving back out the other way. It's Kaczynski, but then Kaczynski falls down and loses it now to Hoover. But then Hoover's disrupted. The puck drops right back out. The shot comes off and seen all the way as it's held over on the far post. Face-off one there by Drexel. They have it. Backhands it along to the far side. Does Kaczynski. Or check that it was Hoover. And this one's sent in on goal by Sprung. And then he'll backhand it back behind out the other side. Kept in momentarily by Walsh over at the far side, but now it's 3-on-2 developing. Sprung though taking Gordef out of the play. Force a battle for the puck along the boards, but now this one drops itself back out, going along to Gordef. Gordef takes the angle shot, but no Sereno. Just hits to the side of his stick, and then it's kept in at the blue line, says the lineman. Quinn just sends it in deep, allow his team to go off on the change. Then when it's still out there, is Sprung. And this one's at the full length of the ice. And Sprung's going to have to stay out there a little bit longer as Urbani sent that one all the way down. Sprung tired as he's hunched over. And he'll go into the face-off circle for Drexel. And it's won by New York. So towards the net, just wide. A goaltender forced him out of the crease now. But his defense able to help him as that one's sent in, but hits somebody out in front and doesn't make its way all the way through. A bouncing puck though does make its way out through center. Moving up with it now is Harris. Harris drops it off at the point and he's taken out of play. Trying to go in deep there is the defense, but it's brought back up by the men in black and then out the other way. Disrupting the play there was the number 4, Urbani, against the other number 4, Uleason. And then this one hits something along the side. Brought back over to the near side now with 12 minutes to go. Then eventually out through center. If they hurry, it's just Harris and the goaltender. Harris backhand score! Harris left down an open ice. New York University not paying attention to him. He takes it in himself. It was just him and the goaltender and puts it into the back of the net. A 1-1 hockey game now with 11:53 to go. So let's look now, Sambuco. Sambuco sends it across. The backhander slides all the way through. Brought back out to the point and then fanning on a shot there was Hoover. That allows New York an opportunity the other way, but it's disrupted there and then eventually back down on the Sambuco stick before it's knocked away from him. Sambuco though one-hands it along to Jimmy Jacobs, but he was unable to set up fully as that pass was just a little bit ahead of him. Sambuco now has it. He comes in, sends one towards the net, but it hits off his skate and goes wide. Sambuco has it. He fans on the shot, gets it right back though, and tries to backhand him further. But New York was there waiting, and it was on a Dempsey stick, and Dempsey will pass it along. Dempsey has it back. He holds. He fires. It bounces. It covered with 10:55 to go. Five shots for Drexel, 18 for New York. It's a 1-1 game thanks to the goal there by Harris. There's the puck trying to get in there and just get ahead with Kaczynski. It's the backhanded shot there by McGinley that's left out. Kaczynski trying to get a stick on it. He can't do so with 10:30 to go. Drexel pulling out the pressure here in the middle part of this third period. This play there by New York, but then another one by Drexel allows him to gain control. This one's all the way back down, but they say all the deflections, so no icing. Just about at the midpoint of this final period, it's 1-1. Kicked off the back of his skate there is Hembree with it, and then the puck is stuck in his skates before it's eventually picked up by Drexel, and then sent along and deflected off of Barrett into the corner, but Barrett will give chase. That allows New York to move out with it the other way. It's Tavares with it. Tavares looking. He sends it across on a stick to Sabata. Sabata sends it back. This one's towards the net, but seen all the way off. Slow Sabata at 9:09 to go. So we're going to do an outstanding job in between the plays. Going to go to heel out was the one that deflected into the corner. For a puck along the near side. Drexel though comes up with it. They send one towards the net that hits off the goaltender's stick and into the safety net. Face-off one here by New York. They move out through center. They led since the first period, but it was Harris able to tie it up, and then falling down in the ice there intentionally was Hoover to block that one from getting out through center. That's eventually set back. Trying to get it through traffic there though with Sabata, but it does not go, and it's eventually blocked out, and now send over to the other side and out through center. Moving up now with his Sambuco. A 3-on-1 developing. Jacobs with it, but it's kicked aside just at the last second. Here's a shot weakly into the corner. 8 minutes to go. Sambuco passes it along. It's on the stick of Jimmy Jacobs. Jacobs puts it towards the left, fires on his left back out. McGinley sends one towards. That's blocked aside, and it's dropped back off. And trying to get there was McGinley again, but it's just a second late. McGinley tries to send it across over to Jimmy Jacobs. Jacobs running out of energy out there as Serena will wisely hold. Understanding that his players are tired, allow them to get off on the change with 7:29 to go here in the final period. 28 shots for Drexel, 19 for New York University. All tied up at 1. It was a close game all the way through tonight, and you're wondering what it was going to look like. Not that Drexel can't hold their own as this rebound goes back behind the net. But they lost to this one coming through. Bounced back out and then eventually danced out of danger. As they lost to New York 3-0, and then New York went on to win their next game, a final score of 9-1. So the question was, would they break out again tonight, or would it be much closer? And it proved to be the latter. Here's a shot that goes off of Sereno and into the netting. Harris continues to add to his leading goals. That's 10 for him now this season. That one hit off the glass and eventually brought out. Drexel moving up with it. They're moving it fast. They send one across and it goes off the glass. The net does come dislodged as we see New York players sliding into it. That one looked to be a lot closer than what was anticipated down there on the ice. Defensive zone face-off for Drexel University. Face-off, one here by New York. New York, though, they almost had themselves a odd man rush there. Nice play by Drexel, though, to keep them out of that. Drexel has it in the corner, centered out in front, but it's kicked aside and never makes its way through. This one trickled along, looking, waiting, holding, centering, off the post it goes, and that forces the net off. A lot of danger there for Drexel, but their post was their best friend right there as that one hit off the side into the corner, and in the process, Nocerino dislodged the net to force a stop and play. Here's a shot, never makes its way through. Sent wide in the net on purpose. It's into the corner. The bench is beginning to get louder on both sides. They push it up the near boards. Down to the final 6 minutes of play, all tied at 1. This one pitched forward, out and down by Lindvall, and just to the right of the goaltender, and the benches don't like it. She said the Drexel bench doesn't like it. New York's bench is okay with it. They're going to gather at the blue line, decide what they're going to do here. And they're going to put it at center ice. Genovese into the face-off circle for Drexel. He wins it. It's passed back now to Urbani. Urbani sends it off to Sambuco. Sambuco holds, tries to feed it along to Genovese, but it's hit off the stick of Sobata. Urbani going back. He's hit hard into the boards, taken out of the play. Hold one-handed along there to Sambuco. Sambuco looking, sends it over. And then pushing it up further deep into the New York end. There's Jimmy Jacobs. Jacobs gets the puck back. He tries to center it back out in front. He had some players there for him, but it's hit off the defense and blocked from getting there, and then eventually allows an opportunity for New York. Mistake though. This one floated along on a Sambuco. A 2-on-1 passed over, and a slide across blocks it, as Jimmy Jacobs and Sambuco push towards the net, and it was a nice pass, but an even better save to keep this one tied at 1. Jacobs unhappy with himself. He thought he should have had it, and he couldn't have come off with a better shot, but unfortunately, the goaltender was there and was able to slide across to keep it out of the net. There are plenty of opportunities here for Drexel. They gained 1. It's 1-1. Now we have it back out the other way. Just push this one towards the net, and there's Serena with glove and hole with 4:39 to go. This one's sent along. Drexel looking for the man rush again. It's Kaczynski with it. Kaczynski takes it back behind the net. That one just too far ahead of him. And then he's eventually pushed into the corner. And then a whistle blown. What do we have? The net came off again. Net coming off quite a bit here tonight. Drexel with it. Drexel sends it towards. This one goes wide. Four minutes to go. All tied up 1 here in the third period. It will be overtime, and if nobody scores there, it will be shootouts. 2-on-1. This one sent towards the net on the stick side, and it's kicked away. Harris looking, holding. He has the golden night. 10 now on the season. Back behind the net it goes. Drexel trying to get it back out. But it's New York in the way. It's kept in though by Urbani at the point and then set in. And then a whistle will force a face-off in the New York end. Both teams still with their timeout, neither looking to use it right now. Drexel trying to get control of the puck here. 3:08 to go. It's New York right now with it. They send one towards the score. That one changed direction on the way in, and just like that, they retake the lead with 3:03 to go. That one off the stick of Oleson, and it hit a player along the way in and hit that same exact corner that New York was able to get a goal from in the first period on the same deflection out in front. So 30 shots for Drexel, 22 for New York, but New York with the 2-1 lead right now. Drexel wins the face-off, but then loses it as we have another puck that's floated towards the net, and it's off the stick of Hemgray where it's gloved and held. New York with it. They're trying to add one more if they could. Drexel doesn't want them to, as they're looking to tie this game up again. They played down all the way through the first and second. It was Harris on a breakaway, and then almost again by Jimmy Jacobs and Genovese, or check that, by Sambuco. But it just did not find its way as the goaltender was able to slide across. Back out to the point, sent over to the far side. This one towards the net through traffic, never makes its way all the way through. This one just out of reach of Sambuco, and eventually brought back out through center, now onto the stick there of Lazine. Sambuco with it, he's looking, he's holding, he fires, and it's just closing the 5-hole there as this puck's bounced back out in front. And it's eventually under the goaltender. Face off one here by Drexel. They're looking for a lane. They're trying to tie it up. They send one towards the net, but it deflects off. Set back out to the 4-point. Now back out in the middle to Harris. Harris looking, sends one towards what's blocked offside. 1:42 to go here. This one set down. It's an empty net for Drexel, and it is down. An icing, so 6-on-5. A timeout called. So 1:37 to go. Drexel elects to use their timeout. We'll take a quick break here on WSBN.
The 4 Points by Sheraton, Winnipeg South. Conveniently located on South Pembina Highway near the Trans-Canada Bypass and 1 hour from the U.S. border crossing. Offering a saltwater pool, hot tub, 24-hour fitness center, restaurant, and lounge. So it is 2-1 here in the third period.
It is Drexel with a timeout right now. They are trying to come up with some kind of plan to tie this game up. They were able to do so here in the third period. I was off the stick of Harris, and then we saw Jimmy Jacobs and Sambuco almost had themselves a second breakaway goal, but unfortunately just did not go their way. 32 shots for Drexel, 23 for New York. An open net, an empty net for Drexel University. So they're trying to tie it up. They're trying to send it to overtime for the second time in just 3 games. It's McGinley into the face-off circle. McGinley wins the face-off. It's sent over to Harris. The puck sent towards the net. It bounces off the glove and then eventually under the pads. Face-off one over there by Drexel, but then a puck bounces. This one sent the length of the ice. No icing. 1:19 to go, an empty net for Drexel. New York up 2-1. Drexel leading in the shot clock, or the shots here. They're moving up with it. It's sent in towards net, just wide. Down to the final minute to play. Well, kicked ahead by McGinley, and then it's sent back down, but then it's kept there at center by Hoover. Hoover brings it along the near side of Sambuco. Sambuco floats one towards the net, hoping something would happen. Down to 45 seconds to go here in the final period of play. This one's centered down in front on a weird angle attempt, and it's covered with 41 seconds to go. Face-off one there by New York. They try to send it all the way back down, but it hit off of Harris. The second attempt does go all the way back down, but again wide in the net. And an icing. 30 seconds to go. And a timeout will be called this time by New York University.